Okay, Joe. Now, what can you remember from what you've learnt so far about...
The order you taste wine in.
Right. Well, that's something. Right, she's remembered something. Right. Okay. So today, as I said last week, we'll be tasting a white from La Mancha, a Verdejo, and a Wilde, wait for it, organic prosecco. And James had to use a corkscrew to get the cork out, and then you had a flip top, like the old cider or beer bottles. And still in Normandy today, cider, you often purchase cider with bottles like that. And then we were having another organic wine. They're all organic wines today. A red Garnacha from La Mancha again. So, now then, what are you going to do first when you're tasting wine, Joe? Come on.
We're gonna look at the colour.
Oh, hooray! She's remembered. This is good. We're getting somewhere. Right, so.
Pour me a splash.
Okay.
And Lindsay a splash.
Well, that's it.
Not too much for Granny.
So we're looking at the colour, and we need a piece of white paper.
Okay, we're getting our assistant.
We're getting a white tissue because otherwise you can't really. Right. Okay. So if we're doing that, look, it has got.
Hold on.
I put it up in my kitchen at home yesterday. I put it up. I had some left of that Chateau Penotier, and the Chateau Penotier had just slightly more depth of colour, but this is not as it tastes. It's got some interesting things. It's not sort of sappy green colour. I would say it's sort of in between, but the up against the Chateau Penotier just had slightly more depth to it. So it was a heavier wine. You could see the colour. Now then, you've looked at the colour. Mm-hmm. Now have a.
Smells. Doesn't smell sweet. I know that much. Are we going to swirl it too?
Yes. You've probably got a tad. For tasting, you've probably got a tad much, haven't we, in our glasses? You can have smaller than that, so it'll enable you to safely swirl it around. Granny starts swirling this around, I'll be slopping it all over the place in no time, won't I?
It's not doing that thing that you said, is it?
No.
What does that mean? It's
Well,
not sweet. It's not sweet. Is that right?
That's entirely correct, because if it's a white wine and it clings as you're doing that to the side of the glass, that would indicate a heavier wine and possibly a sweeter one. Not always, but it will denote a heavier wine, and it's generally golden in colour, and it will take a while before it drops down again.
What
the tears were clean.
Gooseberries.
Well, when I first opened it, because Granny has to admit, I had some tasting during the week with this wine to see what it was like.
She couldn't wait.
Well, Jeff, who doesn't do YouTube or Facebook, when we used to meet with our fantastic Wednesday fellowship group, he never failed every Wednesday to find something he'd pull my leg about my wine drinking. So it's a well-known fact at St Paul's, Lindsay loves wine. So, okay, yes, I do. And if I need it at the moment, a little tonic.
Yes.
Right.
It smells outside-y.
Well, when I first opened it, I thought it smelt earthy to me.
Outside-y.
Right. Yes. Well, that's fine. You use your own terminology because that's important. You remember it more. So, and then after a bit, James said grapefruit. I can smell lemons.
No.
You can't get lemons.
Better knows.
And I can get other things, but I don't know what the other things are. Now, I was tentative about this because I'd always heard that Verdejo can be very acidic, but this is actually a well-balanced wine. It is only, I think, is it 11.5? What does it say on the back?
Yeah,
11.5. So both the red and the white from La Mancha, Spain, are suitable luncheon wines because they're not too heavy, right?
Are we allowed to taste now?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can have a taste now, Joe. So, what are you going to do? How are you going to taste?
I'm gonna. Don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink
Well,
it.
you've done well so far. You haven't remembered the thing about tasting. What have you got on your tongue? Taste buds all over the place. So you need to swill it round in your mouth before you swallow,
Okay.
because you're tasting. And after that, then you can have a then you can have a swallow if you like it. Have another bit. But you're going to. Now, can you get more different flavours?
I don't think it tastes like it smells.
You don't think it tastes like it smells?
No.
Well, I can feel
A
some
tang
prickles.
here,
I
yeah.
can prickles in various places because Verdejo there's a sharpness, cleanness to it, and that's why I said lemons. I could smell lemons and earth, but it isn't just sharp. It's quite well balanced, and that would go with fish beautifully. And that's, I had it with fish, and it does go with fish beautifully. But it's an interesting wine. It's not just sharp and acidic.
No.
It's got other flavours, and I can't get them
Nice.
all. But I thought it's a new one to me, as I explained last week. I haven't met any of these wines before. They're completely new to me, and they are from Secret Garden, where I get my perennials from. And during lockdown, they're doing interesting things. And they'd run out of, I left it too late, and I got a festive box, and this is part of the festive box.
It's a thumbs up from me.
Of 6 bottles, right? And so I think.
What are we giving it stars?
Oh, golly, it's
Only
very,
out of 5.
out of 5. It's very difficult to say because
I'll have one more taste and tell you.
you tell me what you would give it. Because I'm not that keen on. With the fish, it was beautiful, and it is a well balanced wine. It's well made. It's organic.
Is 3.5 too low or 4?
No, you've got to give it what you consider it, how you like it, not what I would. You've got to do your own thing, Joe. That's the point.
You can drink it though, so I'd probably give it
Yes.
4. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. I think I would give it 4.1 probably.
Oh, yeah.
Because
we agree on something?
it's well made, and so if you want to have another little taste just to savour it before you go on,
Okay.
or you can't wait for the prosecco. I know Joe's a prosecco,
Yeah, I could drink the whole bottle, so.
so it's a very pleasant, interesting wine. I'm going to have another. Oh, well, there you are. You see, the flip top does keep it perfectly, and it.
This prosecco it's 11%.
So what does it say on the this? This is organic again. So this is in aid of the Born Free Foundation. So a donation is made from every bottle sold towards the Born Free Foundation. We oppose the exploitation of wild animals in captivity and campaign to keep wildlife in the wild. We promote compassionate conservation to enhance the survival of threatened species in the wild and protect natural habitats while respecting the needs and safeguarding the welfare of individual animals. So that's what it's about. So these bods want to support. It's an extra sort of thing. So it's denominazione di origine controllato. So it's vino Versanti, product of Italy. 11%. It's organic, and it's called a Wilde thing. This organic and tasty prosecco is a delightful fizz, the perfect easy drinking sparkling wine. Once uncorked, you can use the flip top bottle to reseal for further enjoyment later. Well, we tasted this just before lunch, and I'm not a prosecco or champagne fan, but when I smelt it, I thought, oh, I think I might actually quite like this, because it smelt fruity, smelt different, and smelt interesting. And I just had a little, I said, "Do you only want just to try it?" And actually, for prosecco, I said, "Gosh, actually, I quite enjoyed that little mouthful." And so it's going to get, I think, pretty good marks. Let's have a look at it again.
Do you have to look at the
Of course we do. You're going to go through the same thing.
Let's do it up against the camera.
So this is pale in colour, right? But
It smells totally different, doesn't it?
it smells it smells inviting or perfumed almost.
Almost sweet, but not quite. Can you get that?
You know it's not going to be acidic just from the nose. It's floral. Floral, and also sort of something, not woody exactly, it's not all floral, but it's an interesting nose, and it was an inviting nose. So I thought, I just smelt it on the nose before lunch. I said, "Oh gosh, I think I might quite going to like this." And when I tasted it, I did, and I was surprised because I'm not really a prosecco fan, unless it's quite often they're far too acidic, and I'm not a sparkly wine person anyway. But that is very perfumed, floral, all sorts of things. Now, let's have a.
I definitely taste a slight sweet note, but dry at the same time.
Yes, it is. It's not sweet, but it's got depth there, depth of flavour. Quite often Proseccos will be less percentage than this, so you can tell it's got depth, because quite often Proseccos will be anything from 7.8 or 8 point something or other to 10.5, and Joe read out this was 11%, I think.
Yeah.
So you can tell it's got depth, and it's clean tasting. It's lovely. It's a prosecco I could drink. I think this is a good find. And
Mine's
again,
all gone.
it's organic, and it comes from Secret Garden. Right? So you
This one.
can have another little.
Mine's all gone, and I think that is nicer than most Proseccos you get that I normally buy. So I'd give it a 4.8. Definitely, it's really nice. I like it.
Yes, I do. I think that's really interesting. And I think I've scored much the same as you, Joe, 4.8.
And Granny doesn't like Prosecco, so that's good.
So, no, actually, that's quite nice.
The bubbles go to her head too much, you see.
I shall ignore that remark. That is very, very pleasant. Well, now we're coming to the Garnacha, another organic wine. Now,
12, isn't it?
yes. So this, Isaac read it out to me. I'm going to have to, I'll read it out, but I have to go elsewhere because I can't see. I need the light. So if you can hear me, it says, the Parra family have lived and worked the land in La Mancha, central Spain, for generations. Brothers Francisco, Javier and Luis continue the family traditions by farming the soils and vines using organic and biodynamic methods. Only natural fertilizers are used, creating wines with an honest purity of fruit and well-balanced flavours. And I think that's what we thought about the white. The Verdejo was well-balanced. And this is a Garnacha. So let's have a look, pour a little bit in your glass. Whoop.
I keep pouring too much.
And what did I say? Was it 2019 or 2018?
It is 2019 and it's
Yes.
12%.
Right. So you're going to find, I think we should find a purplish tinge. So it's bluish tinge at the edge. But it's light. It's you can see the light through it. So it's not dark.
No.
So it's a pretty colour, and to me this smells on the nose. You can tell it's coming from somewhere hot. It's earthy, and you can
earthy.
and you can almost smell like, you know, if sun is hitting clay, and so you've got tremendous heat. That's what's coming through. That you've got the soil that has been in hot sun, and the other flavours. I don't think I've had Garnacha as part of a blend. I don't think I've ever had what I can call a single Garnacha. A Garnacha, folks, that's the grape variety, same as Verdejo is the grape variety. And by the way, I looked it up, the Ventoux we tasted last week, the grapes used, and you always put the higher percentage first. And so it was Garnacha, Syrah, and the third grape was Mourvedre. Mourvedre, in the last few years, you'll notice a lot more wines are using Mourvedre. Australia do a straight Mourvedre. It's used in Spain a lot, and in southern France, and in Italy and things. So those were the grape varieties, because I said I would look it up, and I looked it up, and so...
it smells deep. Does that make sense?
Yes, you can smell a depth of flavour.
Yes.
Right. Okay, now, Jo, you can have a taste, if you
thanks.
like.
Smooth. There's a little... Now? What's that mean?
Well, I would say it is smooth, and it's you wouldn't when you're having a meal, that's a lovely wine to go with a lunch. And I think it's yeah.
Oh dear. Say hello to everyone, Evelyn. Say hello. Oh.
No, right. She didn't eat very well at lunchtime, so she probably is hungry.
Are you hungry? Do you want to go get a snack? Oh no. Sorry. I think
I can taste. It's not sweet. It's a dry red wine, but it's easy going.
Yeah.
But
you
also
could drink the bottle without realising it. I think.
Easy going, but also there's depth of flavour there. There is a little bit of weightiness to it. It's not, despite its light colour, there is a depth of flavour there, and I would say a bit when you're tasting it, you don't feel, oh, it's just so light. Again, I think they're good winemakers. It's well balanced.
I think that it's very smooth, and I could drink the whole bottle.
There you are. So
I think you could drink it without realising you've drunk a
that's
bottle of it.
Lobita loca. Sometimes they'll say what it would go with. I don't know whether it says that on the bottle.
Do you want me to have a look?
No, it doesn't say there.
So have we said all these wines are vegan as well, Granny?
No, they're organic.
And they're vegan.
Are they? Oh,
Vegan.
gosh, that one's a vegan.
Vegan and...
Well, that is a first, because mostly...
They're all vegan, and Granny doesn't normally like vegan wines.
No, so they've done extremely well. My goodness me, Evelyn, that was a close one.
There you go. We're just getting her a snack, sorry.
Right. No, we're just grabbing the glass.
There you go.
Red wine.
Go and find Daddy now, please. So, for all the vegans out there, you'll be happy to know these 3 wines you can have. And look, there you go. They've all got the vegan side. When we were away on holiday in Cornwall earlier in the year, when we were allowed out, we stopped at a lovely place in Cornwall, and they left us a bottle of wine on the side as a welcome gift, which was lovely. And it was a bottle of red, was it a Merlot?
Yes.
It was a Merlot, and it was vegan. So Granny was a little bit unsure whether we'd like it or not, but unfortunately it was terrible.
Well,
it tasted like coloured water.
Story. They were anxious that people didn't have too much alcoholic strength, so there wasn't much alcoholic strength. It was something like
8%.
Was it 8%, something like that? Anyway, I said, I took one mouthful, and Joe said, "How are you getting on with that bottle? You tasted something." I said, "I'm sorry, Joe, I can't drink."
He didn't get drunk. That's how bad. I mean, it's got to be quite bad. I think it would have probably not even got a star. Not even one.
Well, that's not the end of the story. We went out one night because had you done the drive? No, James drove.
James drove.
You wanted to drink when we got back, and I said, "Why didn't we go to the cop?" James just wanted to get back to the lodge, so we didn't go to the cop, and we certainly should have done. So Joe went into the shop,
the on-site shop,
shop, and she came back with. It was supposed to be a Pinot Grigio, right? Handed me the bottle, and I said, "Oh, Joe, do you want the good news or the bad news?" I said, "I don't think you're going to like this. It's the same brand as that flipping Merlot they left us."
That one didn't get drunk either. It was horrible. So we had a really bad experience with vegan wine, and now we've had a really good one. Okay, so should we just round up with all 3 bottles that we've tasted? I don't know if I'll get them all on screen. I'll try.
And then I'll get the ones we're going to look at next week.
So this was the first one. This was the second. This was the prosecco. Which I think that's my favourite, the prosecco. And the red. Oh, have we given the red? How many stars are we giving the red? I'd give it
5.
I'd give it 4.5. I really
I
like
would
that.
give it 4.4.
4.4. Okay, so there's the 3 that we've tried, and I think I'm going to carry on drinking this one because it's really nice. And then Granny has bought us some for next week.
For next week, just now look at the label of this, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a bit wit woo.
So it is a Primitivo from Pugliese, and it's 2019.
It's a bit stronger. It's 13.5%.
So that's what and it's the Pasqua. I've had wines in Pasqua before, so this is a Primitivo. So it's not one I've tasted before, so it's completely new to me. That is from Majestic Bin End Offers, and so I thought that would be an interesting one to taste. And the second one is completely new to me. Like Italy, Portugal will have supposedly really come up in the way they produce wines, and this is a white from Douro called Planalto. Vinho Branco Secco Reserva 2019, and it is 12.5%. So it's a dry white wine, and the little tiny print I can't begin to read, but that's what we'll be looking at next week. Possibly I might, or I might not, depending what happens in the week. I was given by Marisa and Richard, St Paul's people will know, as well as the lovely Panettone, I was given a rosé from Western Cape, South Africa, and so I might bring a rosé along, so we've got 3 different things we'll be looking at next week. Otherwise it'll be these 2 interesting, completely different wines, new to me, that we'll try. I have tried Primitivo before, of course, but not anything like the white wine from the Douro. So it'd be interesting to taste this one.
I would have picked this just for the label. That's about as much as I know about wine, so just for the label.
Right. That was the
Primitivo.
That's the Primitivo.
That's the Primitivo.
It begins with a P again. That's why you're getting confused. Planalto from Reserva from the Douro.
Okay.
Right. So there we are. I do hope you're learning things and enjoying it. Now, I do not like snobbishness about wine tasting. We're all different. Golly, the world be boring if we're all the same. So we're entitled to like different wines. Wine's a gift to be enjoyed. And so I hope you're learning things and enjoying these little short videos. Wine tasting with Granny. Come back next week for session 4. Bye folks. Bye.